Now that we got you all in here, we're going to look at some fun examples. Fun examples of how this trig stuff applies in construction. The example I want to look at today for class, because the rest of them I think you can figure out on your own. Looks something like this. Now we're going to start out with the easiest possible example of this. This is a house that has an angled garage built onto the end of it. And by the easiest possible example, I mean this span here is 36 feet. This span here is 36 feet. I am going to make this here 32 feet, and this over here 20 feet. 20 feet is pretty much the minimum. Well, I mean, actually, I couldn't even put two 10-foot doors in there. I could put two 9-foot overhead doors there. 9 foot's a little tight for a car. But I could put two 9-foot overhead doors in there. It would be pretty much the minimum size wall I'd have to have. So that's probably just a single stall garage there. Unless I put the garage doors around the other side and I'm coming in from the back side. So anyway, what I want to find here, I want to find dimension x, dimension y, and I want to find the floor area. So how am I going to go about doing that? Other piece of information I need to know, by the way. I need to know this angle here. Let's say that that's 120 degrees. Now, the way this one's drawn, it's probably more like 145, 135, but that's okay. We're going to call it 120. So what am I going to do? I'm going to do this. Cut this here and here. Oops, I drew that very poorly, didn't I? There, let's try that again. Like that. Now the reason this is simpler is because if this is 36 and this is 36, that means this distance, I'll label it A, and this distance are the same. Since those are the same, now I have a right angle here and here, correct? So that means this distance here is 20 feet, right? This distance here is 32 feet. I can cut this across here. Those two triangles are going to be equivalent, just mirror images of each other. Right? So the big question, what's this angle here? Well, the angle here would be 60, right? Because you got 120, this is 90, this is 90. Those angles have to all add up to 360. Well, 90, 90, and 120 is 300. So this is 60 degrees. So the purple angle is 30, half of that. So what I have is this piece here. It's 30 degrees, 36 feet. And I'm looking for that piece right up there. How do I find it? Well, according to this angle, what sides do I have? I'm given 36, which is the adjacent side. I'm looking for A, which is the opposite. Trig function that deals with opposite and adjacent. Adjacent. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. So I write down the definition, I fill in what I know. Do I know theta? Say yes.
Yes.
What is it? 30 degrees. Good. Do I know the opposite side? No, so I'm going to call that A is what I'm looking for. Do I know the adjacent side? Yes, 36. So I make this a proportion, put it over 1, and I will cross multiply and divide. So it's tangent of 30 times 36 divided by 1. So tangent of 30, I'm going to close that parentheses, times 36 divided by 1. Now we all know I don't have to really divide by 1. That is 20.78 feet. Well, that is a huge piece of our puzzle here. If this is 20.78 feet here, what is y? 40.78 feet. Good. And what is x? 52.78 feet. Good. Just 32 plus the 20.78. So I've got those dimensions already. My area can be really, really simple. This part here is 36 by 32, right? So that piece 1, 36 by 32 is 4, what? Oh, that's not correct at all, is it? 1152, there we go. Square feet. Piece 2 is going to be this one over here. It's going to be 20 by 36, so 36 by 20, however you want to do it. 720 square feet. And then I've got this monster. That piece in there is going to be this triangle right here. That's half of piece 3, right? So piece 3, that's going to be 36 by 20.78. Now it's a triangle, so what do I have to do? Divide by 2. How many are there? 2, so I'm going to multiply by 2. Yes, we could just not divide by 2 and call it good, but technically you're dividing by 2 to get a triangle, and there's 2 of them, so you're multiplying by 2. So what does that give us? Point what? 0.08. Okay. Square feet. So we add that all up. Those 3 numbers. $26.20.08 or 2620.08 square feet. That is our floor area. Well, that wasn't so bad, was it? I'm hurt.
I know you.
Still hurt. Yeah, I don't like this. That. What can I say? So I'm drawing it this way now. This span over here is 40 feet. This span over here is 28 feet. They are not the same span. This angle here is going to be 140 degrees. Oh no. This dimension right here, I'm going to give you at 48 feet. This one over here, I'm going to give you at 24 feet. I want you to find for me X and Y. Do you want to try it on your own first, or do you want me to dig in and help you a little bit? See what you can do? Okay. Just remember, these 2 triangles are not going to be equivalent now. I'll give you a minute. See what you come with. Okay, so I've given you some time to realize that you're stumped on this one.
Yeah.
So we know this angle here has to be what? 40. Because this is 90, 90. That would have to be 40 to finish it off. I know this is 90 and this is 90. I know this side is how long? 40 feet. And this side here is 28 feet. This one cannot be divided from this corner to this corner. It will not work. No way to solve it that way. You have to divide it this corner to that corner. Now I can find the length of that side. How do I know the length of that side? Well, if I call that side C, of course, this angle here is 140, right? Because parallel sides to this one, so that angle is the same. Side C, C squared, is equal to 40 squared plus 28 squared minus 2 times 40 times 28 times the cosine of 40 degrees. Does that look familiar? Unfortunately. I love the enthusiasm this group is portraying today.
Thanks.
So we get 25.85 feet here. So I've got the length of that side. Now what can I do? Well, let's find the small. Well, I know both of those angles are less than 90 degrees, don't I?
Yeah.
So it really doesn't matter which one I do. I don't have to worry about getting an obtuse angle. But out of habit, I'm going to use the smaller side. I've got 25.85 over the sine of 40 is going to equal 28 over the sine of whatever that angle there is. I'm just going to call it angle scribble for now. And I'm going to cross multiply, divide, and I'm going to inverse sine it, right? Because I know I'm going to have to inverse sine when I look for an angle. So sine of 40 times 28 divided by 25.85. I get that sine. I'm going to inverse sine to get the angle. This angle over here is 44.13 degrees. Does that look good? Look familiar? Something looks wrong there. Can anybody tell me what it is? Well, it should be bigger than 40. Problem is that's only 88 degrees, which means this angle over here is going to be bigger than 90. So there is an issue. I'm going to double check this calculation here. 40 and 28, so let's see what goes on when I retry that one. I'm hoping something went majorly wrong when I did that. Still getting 25.85. Oh, I know what that's telling me. That's telling me I screwed up. This was not a possible figure to do, is what that's telling me. What it's telling me is happening is this wall, because this is narrower, this wall is actually coming in back here, and it's intersecting behind this, is what that's telling me. So that one can't be done. That was really nice of me to give you.
Thanks, Don.
See, I was right when I said no solution. Except I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't prove it. Yeah, exactly. You can't find an answer. Just say no solution.
Time. Speaking of Plan B, so
I should just stop.
36 feet, 30 feet. We're going to call this 120 degrees. I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to call this up here 48 feet. This over here I'm going to call 64 feet. And I'm going to ask you to find X and Y down here. Just call me Todd in the classroom. We've already established there's a lightning bolt in my future. I'd just as well go down swinging, right? What's this angle here have to be? $60, good. What's this angle up here have to be? 120, right? What's this side? 36 feet, and this side? 30 feet. Once again, we're going to cut her across here. I'm going to call that side C. I will race you to finding side C. Everybody find it yet? What'd you get? Cool. Everybody see how that comes out? Questions, comments, complaints? Pleas for mercy?
Please for mercy, yes, I'd like to hear that.
Anybody not sure how we got that?
What's the formula again?
C squared is equal to 36 squared plus 30 squared minus 2 times 36 times 30 times the cosine of 60 degrees.
I'm multiplying between the
Got it.
36 and 30.
Gotcha. Now find this angle for me. You ready?
Yes.
What'd you get? 5104?
Yep.
Okay, so 30, 33.41 over sine of 60 equals 30 over sine of whatever that angle is. Now that's telling me this angle over here has to be how much? 68.96. Make sense? How about that? Shunt. That one should be 38. Now it should make more sense. Right? Now that we have that, I can find little, I'm going to call this little a and little b over here. Because I got little c here. 33.41 over the sine of 120 degrees is going to equal little a with a sine of 21.04. So find a and b in your notes for me. In this little triangle here, a and b. What'd you get for them? A and B, guys, what did we get? For A? 13.88. And for B? 24.46? 56? Is that what you guys got?
No,
2.6. Okay. So that means X up here is 50.12 feet. How did I get that for X? Subtract from 64, 13.88. 48 minus 24, this is going to be 23.74 feet up here. Right? And now we could find the areas because we know this area here is just 36 by 50.12, right? We know this area here is just 30 by 23.74. Now over here, I would go back and I would change this and I'd cut it like this. This is 36 and this is 13.88. I can find that fourth area by doing that triangle. This area here, this is 30 and this is 24.26. I would find that third area there by doing the triangle. Does that make sense?
yes.
So then I'm going to have you guys do one on your own. I want you to find X and Y here. I'll give you this angle is 120 feet again, or 120 degrees. We'll keep it 120, that seems to be a little easier to work with. I want you guys to find total area for me, and X and Y. So we're going to pull out this section here again. Looks a little bit different this time. Right angles there and there. This here is 60. This here is 120. And this here, of course, requires that we know this is 36 and this is 40. So this is what's that? Don't work that way. Can't get her that way. No. I'll have to get her this way. What'd you get for C? Anybody? 38.16. Does everybody else concur? Does anybody disagree, I should say? Does anybody not have a clue? Remember, that side C, C squared is equal to A squared, which will be 36 squared, plus B squared, which is 40 squared, minus 2 times A, which is 36, times B, which is 40, times the cosine of angle C, which is 60 degrees. All right. You want me to pause from there and let you guys... Got her?
I wrote this formula down instead of doing 36 squared plus 42 squared, 46 squared.
Okay. Let's find this angle right here now. So I've got my 38.16 over sine of 60 is going to equal 36 over sine of that angle. So cross multiply and divide. Sine of 60 times 36 divided by 38.16. Second sign, second answer. 54.79 degrees here, which makes this one 65.21 degrees. Look confused, Tate. Trying to get 38.16? Yes, on your calculator, do square root. Does it give you an open parentheses when you hit the square root symbol? So then do 36 squared plus 40 squared minus 2 times 36 times 40 times cosine 60. Now you close the parentheses twice. And that equals 38.16. All right. So once we have the, did you get yours to work, Jake?
Yes.
Okay. Once we have that 38.16, we use it here in the law of sines to get one of the other angles. I used the 36 just because I reflexively go for the smaller of the two sides. This is 54.79 degrees, so subtracting from 180, that has to be 65. Which means this here has to be 24.79 degrees, and this one here has to be 35.21 degrees. Correct? How long was this side up here? 19.48? 18? 49? Okay. Over here, what's this going to be? $25? Some can't be right there. That one cannot be longer.
On the left side, I have 25.
You might have just switched them. Let's take a peek. So we've got 38.16 over the sine of 120 degrees is going to equal, we'll call this x and this y. So we're going to go y over the sine of 24.79. So we got 38.16 times sine 24.79. Make sure I close my parentheses. Divided by sine 120. Close those parentheses. 18.48 I get there for y. That's kind of what you had, wasn't it? So then you switched them. So this one was going to be what? 25.35? Okay. So now that I have those lengths, x 34.65 feet. Anybody get that? 60 minus the 25.35. And y is 21.52 feet. That's just the 40 minus the 18.48. Anybody get the area right? I'm going to stop right there and let you guys work on the area for a second. Okay. So this piece here is 36 by 34.65. How big is that? This one right here. 1247.4. That works for me. Does that look right? Any disagreements with that? Sounds about right to me. How about this one here? 860.8. Actually, 860.8 sounds about right to me. 21.52 times 40. So now what we have is we're going to have two sections up here. I cut that kind of horribly, but that one's kind of thin. Like that. This one here I'm going to call 3. This is 25.35 by 36 divided by 2. What's that going to give us? Yeah, 456.3. And this one here, I'm going to put it up here. Yes, 369.6. Very good. So we add that all up, we get what? 1521.
2934.1.
Is that what you guys got? 2934.1. So there's probably some round off errors in there. There's always that chance.
I messed up those angles, the purple angles.
Oh, these? Okay.
Just off like 14, 13.
Oh, you got lucky. Okay, there's a worksheet for you guys to work on.
No, thank you.
Just no, no.
One of those days.
I mean, you can give me it, but no promises when it's done.
Well, there might be a quiz on it next week.
Well,
And
It says might.
by might, I mean.
I'll count my losses.
I mean Tuesday.
Oh, God.
It's called flow.
It is.
It's good to pass time goofy puzzles. And you get stuck on one and come back a couple hours later. And you fix.
Actually, I lied to you. There's 2 worksheets.
Then there's some that are.
Oh, double now.
And there's some left there.
They get hard.
You just have to do the easy ones.
There's
first.
number 1. There's number 2.
I'll do number 1.
I'm number 2.
I don't want to hear about it, Richard.